A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Tuesday, May 9th at 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to attend a pre-Mother's Day seminar. This will be held at Dillard's Restaurant, located at 645 Magnolia Avenue. And on Friday, May 12th at 11:30 in the morning, another Mother's Day celebration. This will be held at the O'Donnell Dempsey Senior Center, located at 622 Salem Avenue. For more information, please call the center at 908-354-7431. And on Saturday, May 13th at 11 o'clock in the morning, the Peterstown Soccer Cup Tournament will be held at O'Brien Field, located at 641-657 3rd Avenue. And on Tuesday, May 16th at around 11 o'clock, I'm going to present a proclamation in honor of Nursing Home Week at the Elizabeth Nursing Home, located at 1048 Grove Street. And following that event, I'm going to be at a celebration in honor of Haitian Independence Month. This will happen at noon at the Stephen Sampson Center, located at 800 Anna Street. And immediately after, around 12:30, we're going to cut a ribbon. This cutting ceremony will happen at the newly renovated Warnaco Park Sports Center. This is a great plus for our city because the ice skating is going to remain on the Elizabeth border in Warnaco Park. This facility, which houses a landmark rink for Union County skaters since 1961. It's undergone a $7 million modernization and renovation program. It's doubled the overall complex space, and now it is a year-round venue for skating and other activities. For more information, please call the Public Information Officer at Union County, Mr. Sebastian Delia, 908-527-4419. And later that evening, I'm going to join members of the Haitian community at about 5 o'clock and other Elizabeth residents who join us outside of City Hall, located at 50 Winfield Scott Plaza, for the raising of the Haitian flag celebrating the Haitian independence. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. And please stay with us. After these messages, we're going to talk about the Tour de Elizabeth coming up in our city next Sunday.
We have some of the finest teachers in the country. And then they graduate. Kane University.
Welcome back to our city, and I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Jonathan Phillips, the Executive Director of Groundwork Elizabeth. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mayor.
Mr. Paul Pasternak, a detective with the Elizabeth Police Department. Detective, welcome back.
Thank you, Mayor.
And a first-timer, Mr. Dennis Argul, Supervisor of Music for Elizabeth Public Schools.
Afternoon. Thanks.
Dennis, did I say that correctly?
You did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. So, Dennis, you've never been on the show before.
That's correct.
We'll start with you. Tell us a little about yourself and your music for the Elizabeth Public Schools.
Yes, sir. I'm fortunate enough to be the supervisor. It's my 5th year here in the district. As supervisor of music, I also oversee the dance and theater programs. It's my 33rd year in public education here in New Jersey. I'm a member of the New Jersey Music Educators Association, New Jersey Music Administrators Association, Speech and Theater Actors of New Jersey, and Dance of New Jersey.
So Dennis, are you a New Jersey kid, born and raised here?
Born and raised in Bayonne.
Oh,
still
Bayonne.
live there.
Good.
Yep.
Still vote there?
Still often and early.
All
Yes,
right. That's what they do in Bayonne.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, you've heard.
So, Jonathan, this is the 14th year, and we're still getting a great turnout. And
14th year, can you believe it? It feels like yesterday we started.
no, you don't look any different, Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you. You don't either. Next year will be our 15th year. That'll be really
Well, why don't we wait till we get to the 15th?
Okay, but yeah,
Well, why don't we
14th.
talk about the 14th?
All right. The 14th is coming up, May 21st.
You got last year's shirt on, though.
This is actually the Marshall shirt. So actually, you may see this color shirt on all the Marshalls. It may have different years on, but just people should note that this color means there's a Marshall. And
Always
you should listen
orange
to 'em.
just for the
Yep.
Marshall? Okay.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, this is our 14th year. We're starting and finishing at City Hall. We have people coming back. We have new people coming. We have a Facebook presence, social media presence, advertising all over the place, and a lot of interest.
But Jonathan, this started 14 years ago because of your family's business, celebrating a 100th anniversary.
You're right. And years ago, Bob Verity local attorney here, and a good writer, and came up with this idea with talking to you and a few other people, and we tested it in 2004, and now from 100 riders the first year, we're up to nearly 1,000 riders.
And Detective, you've been there all 14 years too.
I missed one. It was an important day. My daughter graduated college, so I had to go to that.
Yeah,
so I missed.
you had to go to that,
I missed
right?
a couple of years ago, but yeah, I've been to just about every single one. Yeah.
And you're extremely instrumental in helping to design the route and the safety of the issues. Plus, you get your whole family out there too.
I do.
Right?
I always, Mayor, I always bring my family. I don't travel alone. I travel with a group. But yeah, every year it's a different course, and we have a great committee that works. All city employees that get together, and we put our heads together for a different course every year. We hit a lot of the same areas. Obviously, City Hall is our start and finish. It's also our halfway point. We also love the river trail, which is fantastic. We do the waterfront on Front Street, and we do go past your house. I don't know why we do that. Is that by design? I think. Yeah,
we always go past the mayor's house.
We
right?
go past the mayor's house every year.
That's because it's a port stop on that block, right?
There is. Yeah.
Everybody stops and has a glass of port at my neighbor's house.
Yeah,
so, and I think it's white port too for that. Anybody has an aversion to the red port, it's the white port.
Okay.
So what's new about this year's tour? Is it?
Well, I think our theme, Mayor, is the big thing. It's the sounds of the city. Every year we do a different theme. And again, collectively as a committee, we come up with a different theme. As last year was our Bikes and Bites, and this year it's Sounds of the City. And that's the tie-in with our musical director.
So that's a good segue. So
yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about Sounds of the City, Dennis.
What we're hoping to do is we reached out to the teachers and
How
the
did you get
students.
involved in this, by the way? They come knocking on your door? Did you make a phone call?
Well, with the internet now, it's just it's an email and a phone call. No knocking yet, but yeah, I was reached out to by your office and to attend a meeting I could not attend because I was out of the district on professional development. But one of our teachers, Sandra Toll from Jefferson Academy,
I know Sandra well.
showed up and brought back the information to me. What we're looking to do is along the route have student and faculty ensembles providing music to kind of motivate the cyclists onto the next leg of the ride, and to also share in the civic duties of being a musician in town.
So these students aren't serving port?
I would hope not,
No,
sir.
that would not be a good
No, especially not with Mr. Pasternak.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
not a
happy.
good
It's not my intention.
What about the locations of where they're...
Not yet. We're still working on that information, but hopefully we're going to
put
get
one in front of my house then, right? Somewhere.
We can work on the schools in that area to represent that neck of the woods. Sure, it's 26, 18. Sure, let's have to get them some student ensembles out there.
This is really going to be fascinating. So who came up with this idea? Don't tell me Jonathan. This is he's not the creative guy
No,
here.
you're right about that. And there's a guy who's sitting all the way to my left who's pretty modest about it. We were just talking about this before the show. Paul Pasternak has come up with about 3 or 4 of these different themes, from the arches and bridges and to the
So this was his idea?
Restaurants. Again, Paul.
So Paul, tell me, musical background in your family? You? What?
No, we just love music. I just love music.
Right.
But I do a lot of events, and I do a lot of runs, and I do a lot of bike events, and a lot of these events, there's bands that are playing along the course, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's just from a guy just on a drum, or a small trio, or somebody singing, or whatever it is, or DJ. It seems to really motivate either the runners or bikers that are going by. So we just decided I threw it at Jonathan and the committee, and I guess the idea was a great one, or a good one, good enough to go through. And we have plenty of musical people in the
You're
city.
being modest, a good one. It's a great one. This is fascinating thought process.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And Dennis, you hopped right on board here. So
Yes, sir.
this is clearly different than others if we're doing this music along the way. We also have the bicycle trail has been extended.
Correct. Yeah, the river trail.
The river trail. Are we on the whole river trail this year? The whole extension?
Yeah, I think you're a big fan of the river trail, so I think we included that because of how you're.
Well, I want to get it all the way to the Goethals Bridge,
Right.
and the game plan is to take it over the Goethals Bridge and hook it into Staten Island when the new bridge is built with the bicycle way, and then also take it all the way into Midtown.
Wow,
So I believe we're going to be able to get most of that accomplished.
that's outstanding. That's good stuff.
So maybe next year we can take the tour over the Goethals Bridge. Well, 2 years away. I don't know if we can do that. That might be tough, huh?
Wow.
Listen, the Port Authority is great friends of the Elizabeth Police Department.
Right.
They're great friends of the city. So yeah, I think that sounds like something that we make happen.
Fascinating idea.
Yeah.
So Jonathan, how do you organize and fund this tour? What's the game plan here?
We have to always thank, and this could not happen in other municipalities. This doesn't happen. So the City of Elizabeth, we have to thank you and all the different departments. Department of Public Works works with us, the police department, fire department, public information. A lot of departments work with us. Then we have, as Paul was alluding to, we have a bicycle committee. So we meet actually at City Hall about 4 or 5 times a year, organize it, figure out the themes, figure out the logistics, advertising, and things like that, and we get it done.
And the proceeds go to?
Proceeds, some of it goes to pay for the tour, because there are advertising costs and logistical things like fruit and water and things like that. And some of it goes to actually help our organization. As you said, I'm the director of Groundwork Elizabeth, to help change places, change lives, build more sustainable communities here. We work in urban agriculture, as you're aware of. We just put 2 50-bed gardens, one at the Elmore Library, one at the Housing Authority. We do that. We have a green team program. We have a green workforce initiative program. So all that helps us to help the city.
And Dennis, so what should we be expecting with the theme being Sounds of the City? I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit. How many different groups? Have you figured all this out yet? Or
We're still working on we're working on what schools will be represented and how they will be represented. But one of the exciting things about our district this year, for the 2nd year in a row, we were named with the National Association of Music Merchants (NAM) as one of the top 500 music communities in the country. And what we're looking
Really?
Yes, sir. We offer a robust program for grades K through 12 in our district, and it was recognized again for the 2nd consecutive year nationally. And what we're trying to do is highlight the personalities of the schools musically. And there's this concept of an artistic citizenship. What does it mean to be a music or a performing arts student beyond the walls of the classroom? And part of that is being able to share your art form with the community in which you're studying. And so this event just tied in perfectly with what we're trying to do in the district.
So we're going to have kids, not only grammar school kids, but we're going to have high school kids.
That's the plan, yes, sir.
We have faculty too.
We're going to hopefully have some faculty groups as well. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I'm looking. The race may. What do you think? It's going to be longer this year, Paul. People will be stopping to listen to the music.
That's what we're worried about. The music's going to be so good, they're not going to care about the biking portion, but that'll be okay too. We'll get it done. We'll get them moving.
So how'd you go about preparing for this tour, Paul? Difficult?
Oh, it's about a 15-mile ride. It's a leisurely ride. Families can do it all together. They're single riders. What we do is we try to break down the groups, riders into groups. There's like a more advanced group, which we take out a little bit earlier. They go a little bit faster. I don't think these guys are going to want to stop and listen to music. These guys are serious bikers. They're on, very expensive bikes, and they're all about biking. So we take a smaller group out first, and we do the tour to Elizabeth with this group. And then there is an intermediate group, and then there's like a more family group, younger children, things like that are riding in between. So we try to break them down, and as marshals, course marshals, as Jonathan said before, we try to weed out the people that don't belong in the front group. They belong more in the second group or third or whatever. So everybody has a good time, and there's no bottlenecks and things like that.
So, but the first group, Paul, they don't get to see much. They just, right? I mean,
I don't know. They are very fast, I can tell you that. They like to go fast, and we try to keep that whole group together, and they're averaging anywhere between like 18 and 22 miles an hour, which is, pretty quick going through the city and safely in that. So we get it done with that group. It's a smaller group, so we make our stops. We make our safety stops as well.
That was a year 11 or 12 years ago. My daughter wound up with the fast group, right? And wound up at One Ankle Park. Yeah. Remember that story?
Yeah.
She just kept riding with the fast group, and she gets to One Ankle Park, and all of a sudden a cop says to her, "What are you doing with this group?" And my daughter, who was 6 or 7, looks at I don't know, but my father's the mayor of Elizabeth. So they put her in a police car and they took her back home.
There you go.
But I don't know how she wound up in that. They passed by the port stand where she was hanging out. She was going to ride with him for 3 blocks, but she just kept going. So her and her girlfriend.
And I think that's what you do. You kind of get caught up in it. You get caught up in that, seeing the city. And a lot of people, Mayor, from former city residents come back just to see the town, just to see the city from a seat of a bike, which is great. We like talking to the people that that are from the city, and it's great to talk to people who who moved away, but then they come back just because of the tour.
Jonathan, you said we almost had 1,000 riders last year, right?
That's right. Yeah, they come back from all walks of life.
You think we'll hit 1,000 this year?
I hope so. We'll know in about a week or so.
I think if you can stay with us after these messages, we're going to come back and talk more about the Tour de Elizabeth, the 14th annual, here in the city of Elizabeth.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started. Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Paul Pasternak, Dennis Argul, and Jonathan Phillips, talking about the Tour de Elizabeth, the 14th annual. And Dennis, during the break, we were talking about preparation and participation. Since you're the guru at the top, how are you getting the other folks to prepare, not only the faculty but the students, to participate in this event?
Sure. With the student groups, this event occurs right around the time when spring concerts and end-of-year arts program performances are happening anyway, so the repertoire is basically prepared. It's just a matter of getting the I's dotted and the T's crossed in terms of what kind of equipment will be needed, what the times are, and then picking those selections which are most relevant and most user-friendly for this kind of outdoor event.
You're not picking the selections, you're going to leave it up to the individual?
Yeah, absolutely, the teacher autonomy. Yep.
Teacher, yeah, that's good. I'm looking forward to this year. I got to hand it to you, Paul. It's pretty creative. Jonathan, give us a rundown. What's going to happen the day of the tour? What time do the earliest folks get there, and what time's it going off? It's Sunday,
It's May 21st.
It's on a Sunday.
Let me tell you, Mayor, every year I get there, try to get there earlier and earlier, I get there 6:30, and there's still people waiting for us to sign up for it. But the actual registration, and you actually have to register again, even if you did it online, it starts at 7:30 a.m. You get there, you go to the registration table, you'll get your shirt. We want everybody to wear their shirt to identify themselves. You're going to eventually get a hat after this is done, a beautiful tour hat.
I always get the first one, though, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You can take this one later. So you get the hat, and then you just wait. There's a DJ. DJ Rob is telling people what to do, playing a couple songs, getting them in the mood. People are looking at the vendors in the center of Winfield Scott, who are showing people what they have to offer. And then people line up, and just at 9 o'clock, actually a little bit before, right, Paul? We give them, the first group goes out. Then at 9 a.m. exactly, second group goes out, third group goes out. They do the 7-8 miles, come back to the middle, wait for about 5 minutes, group everybody together, and then we do the second half.
And that's does the first group just keep going, or do they have to break too?
Yeah, the first group, I guess Paul can tell you, because he's actually marshaled them himself, but they just go, I think, right, Paul?
They like to go, yeah.
Do they break, Paul, or no?
We try to stop them. We go around the mall every year, and we
other riders don't do that.
Other riders don't go around the mall, and definitely not on this year's course. It's not. But we let those guys go a little extra around the mall. And they're doing in the 30 miles an hour area, and we form them up before we hit Trumbull Street or whatever direction we decide to go in. I think in this tour is great because we pass a lot of the schools, and it ties in, with the music from the schools. So we're going to pass a bunch of the schools. In fact, we're going to be starting at the new Sickerell building. Great. So, right at Winfield Scott. So I'm sure the music will be great there as well as everywhere else.
So walk us through the route, Paul, a little bit, because it changes every year.
Yeah, the route changes every year. We haven't hammered down exactly every single turn in that, but we try to hit multiple neighborhoods. We're in the North End, we're in Peterstown, we're downtown, we're on Front Street, we're on, I mentioned the River Trail, we're up in Elmora, we're in Midtown. So we hit just about every neighborhood. We try to do it every year, and I think we've been pretty lucky with our route.
You got that hill again on McGee Avenue?
Of course. That hill never changes, Mayor. That's the same.
That's that same hill. Everybody struggles up that hill. Is it in the beginning of the ride this year or the end of the ride?
It's at the beginning. And one year we had the ride going down that hill in McGee, and we found that it was just a little too fast. So going up is a little safer.
It's safer, and it's a little more difficult on some of the...
And tomorrow we're going to actually have a pre-ride so we can check out the course and make those final adjustments like Paul's saying.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
How many people are doing the pre-ride?
About 15. The 15? Marshals go, and some press goes as well.
And that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
the pre-ride.
Want to go? No, I don't want to do the pre-ride, no.
But you ride every year, Mayor.
I do ride every year. Yeah, but I'm not doing the pre-ride. I'm doing it once. No, I don't think I need the mayor out there twice on the pre-ride and the regular one, because So the music department, Dennis, this is a question that is probably a no-brainer, but it's so important. What role does the music department play in our community? The arts are so important.
Absolutely. It's a diverse community. Folks bring those musics with them from where they come to the community, and then through the responsibilities of the public school education, we inculcate all of those and try to make musically and artistically, because it also includes dance and drama, maybe not for this event so much, but for what we do in our public schools. We try to inculcate it so the students are able to communicate through their music into the community area. And what I've loved as a supervisor the last couple of years is we've been able to hire some folks that came up through our school system, went on to college, and are now back in our schools as teachers. And they're real excited about events like this because it's their way of giving back to the city that gave them the opportunity to study.
So, Paul, did you see this in another race somewhere where they had different bands or different things at different locations in the race?
Yes, I think the first time I remember seeing it is in the New York City Marathon, which obviously is one of the biggest events.
You've run that?
Yes, I've done it a few times. And again, going through these diverse neighborhoods through Brooklyn and the Bronx and Manhattan, there's just bands, and I think they come out just for exposure. They come out because they like to play, they enjoy their music, and they want people to hear it. So you're running, a block away. You hear this music, and as I said before, it might be a trio or a jazz band or someone just singing or whatever, and you got to just slow down and just listen and watch and appreciate it a little bit. Give them a little clap, and you keep it moving. So that's what I think our vision is for this, is that same idea here at the Tour de Elizabeth.
So, Paul, you ride with the fast riders, but that's easy because you're at that capacity. But what advice do you have for those riders that are riding with their families?
Well, make sure your bikes are in good shape. Make sure you got good brakes, obviously. Make sure you know how to ride. Bring a helmet. Obviously, that's...
we don't let people ride without a helmet, correct?
Correct. You have to have a helmet to ride. So bring a helmet. Make sure you bring some water with you on the course. Make sure your bike is in good working order before race day, or I should say tour day. This way you don't have any problems. Now we have some mechanics on the course. We have some bike mechanics at Winfield Scott at the beginning and halfway mark. In fact, one year I actually got to the halfway mark and my tire exploded. I basically stopped to get a little bit of water, and my tire blew up. And just like that, our bike mechanics had me back on the road, and I was still riding with that first group. So we've got some good, very professional people that'll help out do that. But advice to families and anyone who's going to ride: make sure your bike's in good shape, and you're in good shape, and you bring a helmet and water.
And there are medical services available on this ride?
Of course. Our EMS is going to be on the course. They're on bicycles themselves, riding the course with us. And we've got our ambulances, and there'll be ambulance supervisors and fire department, first aid trained folks out and about all over.
We've had a few scrapes and bruises, right? Along the years, we had one.
We had a couple.
We had a couple scrapes.
We had a couple, yeah.
One broken bone once.
Yeah, I was riding behind a guy we were going underneath the First Avenue section, underneath the Turnpike Bridge, and his little, thin little tire caught a rut, and he went head over handlebars, I should say, and yeah, he hurt himself pretty bad, that guy. But for the most part, we're very lucky, and people pay attention, and
if they pay attention to marshals, especially the families, there should be no problem.
Correct.
And because we stop along the way.
Sure.
At Park Avenue in Elmore is a mandatory stop.
Correct.
To cross that, which is important. So, Jonathan, how about the cost? What does it cost, and what is each rider? You talked about the shirt and the hat.
The cost is pretty low considering what you get, and what you do get is the ride of your life. You get to see Elizabeth. You get a signature hat, which is right here, which is a beautiful hat. It's probably worth about $30. You get a shirt. I'm not going to tell you the color of the shirt until you get there this year, but it's going to match the hat. And again,
let's figure that out, detective. I mean, come on.
Well, it could be one of these colors.
Oh, it's going to be
okay, maybe. But you'll get a shirt as well. And we ask people to wear that shirt on the route to identify themselves. Plus, you get a goodie bag, and you get to enjoy in this great music along the way.
So, Dennis, we talked about music program participating in the preparation and doing. Have you received any feedback yet from anybody on what they think? They think this is
sure.
crazy idea? Are they looking forward to it? What's the thought process?
Most music teachers are okay with crazy anyway. So
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So that's okay. The questions are coming in. Where can we set up? How soon do we have to be there? How long will the event be? So those kind of questions are coming in, and we just, I guess the information was just sent out the end of March, and then we went into spring break, and so now, coming back to school yesterday, the more inquiries are coming in. So in the next couple of weeks we'll have it figured out, and there's a lot of interest from student and faculty groups.
Oh, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the highlights of the Performing Arts Department, you talked about were in the top 500?
Top 500 from NAM, yep, that's correct.
Tell us about that.
That's right. Well, the National Association of Music Merchants is a national association that deals with every public school system in the country. There's a document to complete where you describe the program offerings, the student body, the socioeconomics of the district, and then they do an evaluation of what you are able to offer from a faculty standpoint, from resource standpoint, facility standpoint, and then they recognize the top districts in the nation. And this is the second year in a row that Elizabeth is named among the top 500.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Paul, as we wrap up, rain or shine, does this happen?
It happens, rain or shine. We've had a couple of bad days over the last 14 years, but for the most part, it's fantastic.
We had one bad day, but it's...
and we still had a lot of riders, too.
Show that brochure before we go?
I would just like people to know they can still register. There's still about 10 or 11 days left. Go to groundworkelizabeth.org, or of course the city website. You can click right on it and register. You can either register electronically, or you can print out an application and bring it with you.
Can you register on site?
You can register on site as well.
So I look forward to a great ride on May 21st and a lot of fun. I really look forward to the music along the way. Yeah. Of course, the port on Coolidge Road and McGee Avenue is always a famous stop as well. Do you ride, Dennis, since you're...
No, sir.
Are you going to be somewhere
playing
playing
I get a cramp
something?
when I drive 15 miles.
Are you going to be playing somewhere? Or
I may surprise you and be along that route, playing my instrument.
Well, I want to thank the three of you for taking the time to join me on the show this evening, and look forward to seeing you on May 21st.
Thank you for having us and promoting our event.
Thank you.
For Detective Paul Pasternak, Mr. Dennis Argul, and Jonathan Phillips is the Executive Director of Groundwork Elizabeth. We look forward to seeing you on May 21st, 9 o'clock in the morning, for the 14th Annual Tour de Elizabeth. And we'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
Why do we like it here? Let's just say the reasons are diverse. Kane University.